Okay, so da- 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 da. why I think it's important for artists or celebrities to use their influence. Um, in this changing society or the different things that we see happening in the world today over the news, we're saying that they're young. We look at the young people to make a change because it's their world, so to speak. A part of that is what young people are looking at, and it's mostly celebrities who are the most influential parts of the society through the media at this point. I think it's very, very important that these celebrities use their resources, their star power, so to speak, to aid in making a change, influencing changes. I know a lot of the Caribbean artists, part of their consciousness is always giving back, and they find time to do that. But I think it should be more of a conscious effort as part of the career move, as long as their vision and they're looking for ways to really implement things that's going to make a positive change for these kids. I know I personally, all the artists that I work with under my management team, um, that's a priority for us. The work that we do in the Caribbean, the work we do in Africa, and the work we do in the States is always about giving back. It's always about spending time, whether it's educational, whether it's about health awareness, whether it's really just putting a smile on the kid's face. That's something that we're very conscious of. And I'm happy the fact that working with Leon of Leon and the Peoples, Third World, Kimani Marley, British Dependency just recently. All these artists that's one of the consciousness of them, where they find themselves wanting to give back and to do things that's going to make a difference in kids' life or in our society in general. Because without that consciousness, um, what do we have?
And what do you see as the trend now versus 10, 15 years ago of how artists are perceiving their ability to influence the world?
Well, I think the trend that I see now is, again, the effects of social media. With a Facebook, with Twitter, Instagram, a simple picture is worth millions of words at this point. Or you're able to make people feel and think differently by images that you can post in a matter of seconds. You're on a stage in front of five people, or in front of 500,000 people. You post an image and you add words to it. It could affect someone's life now that's on the internet. So artists have a strong responsibility to use that platform not only for the positive reinforcement of what they're doing as an artist, but also in terms of how they perceive that society should be influenced in a positive way.
What do you think can be accomplished if the artists come together on that common front, not particularly towards a particular goal of, eradicating hunger or AIDS, but just the international artist community coming together to put their voices, unite their voices and make change? What do you see that can be accomplished with that?
What do I see regarding artists coming together in an international front to make a change? I think the possibilities are endless. Um, Having a vision of what you want to see happen is most important, and coming together in different parts, artists internationally coming together on one platform to actually make a change, it makes it happen much more effectively and quicker, and also could be economically. The fact is, if you have 10 artists from 10 different parts of the world, and they all have at least 10 to 100,000 fans that's following them, and they decide, okay, great, we need to build a school in one remote part of the world, and they request from their fans to donate each even a dollar. Something that we might take for granted. That's 10 artists, 10,000 people. That's $100,000 easily, and that could actually build a whole village. So by simple moves like that makes a big difference.
And how do you think that this will affect particularly the Caribbean youth? We have a big problem in the Caribbean with hypersexualization in the music and all sorts of different gang violence that's coming in from the rap music that's starting to filter into the ghettos. How do you think that these artists, using a more positive note and a more conscious kind of vision and broadcasting that out, how do you think that will change the Caribbean and the Caribbean diaspora?
The Caribbean, wow. That's home for me. That's very close to home. I'm from Montserrat. I'm from the island of Montserrat, and I really do see and pay attention to what happens in the Caribbean a lot. I think that the artists have a strong responsibility in terms of how they perceive their music, the lyrics, and how they promote themselves. That's very important. I think alongside of that, they have a strong responsibility and the resources that they could actually work with educational programs to influence a lot of things that happen in the Caribbean. I think with that, the hypersexuality, gang violence, and things of that nature come from the lack of interest in education. And the resources are there, but there's no one preaching it or leading to that well. And I think certain artists who have gone through the process of not even having an education, there's no reason for you to turn back and say, okay, great, I did it without education, so you shouldn't. No, I think they have the responsibility to recognize that if you had an education, you could go such much more instead of preaching violence or hypersexuality behavior. So I think it's very, very important for them to be very conscious about that. I personally, as a manager and also as a promoter and organizer of events, that's the one thing that I do. I definitely draw the line there.
And finally, what's your dream or hope for not just the music industry, but the international artist community in the next evolution in the next few years?
I think that my dream, dream big. Now, I think that the possibility for the international community of artists to be able to be on one united front, not like the UN, just musicians that love music, will be able to get on a conference call, get on a video conference, get on an email and say, hey, we want to do something very, very simple. And if we're doing that once a month, every 6 months, whatever, just being able to do that, that's a dream for me. If I'm able to see that happen and unite, just in a united form to say, hey, I want to do something big to change the world, and just be a consistent situation. So it's every month, every 2 months, they're saying, let's get together and do this, let's get together and do this, let's get together and do that. Regardless of whatever is happening around them and their personal life, they're giving out and giving back. That's happening. I want to see that. That's a big dream.
Thank you.